What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Review video, and we're going to be reviewing all the new units and Neo Vision Awakened units coming to the global version, including Elena, Louise, and also Ling. Ling. So Elena first, infinite turns. All three of them have infinite turns, which is phenomenal. 25% sword and peril, 2 uses. So at least this is an option for if you didn't have Noctis. This is an option for you. 500% cap. She also has slightly higher modifier increases on her lone burst, on her base lone burst. And that's about it. There's not much else to say because we're gonna get into why. But her Brave Shift form, she has all allies imbues for ice or light, plus amps for those, of course. And she can remove all imperils from all allies. I just wanted to mention that because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be useful for Clash of Wills or something like that, because that's there's been units that have something similar to this, but not. Well, I think there has been one from all allies. It's very rare. I'll say it's very rare. I don't eat my own foot here, but I think this ability is very rare. At least you can at least agree to that. And her Brave Shift Lone Brisk has 280% stat buff, 10k HP barrier, and also 150% physical, magical, demon, and human kills, which is pretty good. The stat buff, not so much anymore because we're going to be getting much stronger than that soon. But the 10k HP barrier and the killers are pretty good. Now you might be mentioning, hey, she probably has a lot of other things than that. Remember, guys, in my reviews, I only mention the good stuff. I'm not going to mention anything that I don't think is that amazing or just whatever. So she does have a lot more moves, but I just want to mention them. And also, let's get into the cons here. Morale gauge could become useless if Clash Wills doesn't stick around. As like, what if this bombs and it doesn't come back? Similar to on the JP version, they had the tower event and it hasn't come back for months. I'm not saying that's not the best equivalent, but I'm just saying as a decent equivalent. So I don't know if this is the event going to go away if everybody hates it? Is it going to stick around? I don't know. I mean, everybody hates. A lot of people hate Dark Visions, a lot of people like Dark Visions, but it still sticks around. So maybe, hopefully, this event will stick around, because I don't like the idea that they put this in. They put this morale gauge stuff in, and then they just say, oh, the event didn't go too well, so we're just gonna stop. We're just gonna stop. The morale gauge is now useless. Let's not have that, please. Please don't do that. Some abilities are just useless outside of Clash of Wills because they do higher modifiers in Clash of Wills, but outside it, the modifiers are really kind of bad. And most of her mods weren't really adjusted at all. They said, oh, she'll be adjusted. Well, I didn't see it, unless the wiki wasn't updated. Her modifiers are still the same. She doesn't have the passive that gives her a lot of modifier boosts, which all abilities besides Lone Burst. So even if some of them got tweaked, they didn't look that high. Remember, guys, that she's a hybrid, so even if she has like 100 times mod, it's still a hybrid. So, and most of her Brave Shift is just cooldowns, so not very flexible if you use it. You gotta make sure you're using the right cooldowns at the right time, because they're not available for every turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her 8.5 out of 10, because I think that she is pretty useful for like sword and peril, and she does have light and ice imbues. Light imbue is kind of common, will be very common in the future, but ice imbue for all allies is kind of rare. Not very many units have that, so pretty good. We have Louise here, also infinite turns, like I mentioned. Quad cast, which was kind of surprising. She just has that. She just has quad cast. Interesting. But there's a catch to this. I told you guys in my news video that there will be a catch when it comes to Louise, because she has so many things that are good. So there's a huge catch. She does have 200% magic true to will. She does have a 600% cap. She does have killers for. She does have all killers, 200%. This is for all, by the way, all three of those things are alt for both sides. I didn't really know how to word it, so I tried to word it to like where there's 2 commas and then there's a thing at the end, so then you guys know that she has 200% true to wield, 600% cap, and 200% all killers for both sides. She has 15% magic lifesteal, which means basically if she does magic damage, she returns some of her HP that she's dealing as damage. Which is pretty interesting because now there's very few units that have that. Ashe had that as an ability, but this is a passive, which is it's interesting. Most DPS aren't getting hurt anymore, but I'm sure in Clash of Wills they will be getting hurt. So yeah, normal attack becomes gun break gauge, which is interesting because I don't think that's ever been a mechanic ever. Correct me if I'm wrong. There might be 1 or 2 units that I'm forgetting, but I don't think this is another thing. I think this is just a very rare circumstance. This is not something that comes up very often, but what if she's out of MP and you need break gauge? I guess. I mean, it's there. I guess it's interesting. I wanted to point that out. 135% fire imperil and also 90% spirit break for 1 use. I mean, that's 90% spirit break is pretty good. That's pretty strong. 80 times magic, which means that she can be imbued with fire. Of course, she does have a fire imbue. I'm assuming that's there in case she didn't want to use her TMR, but her TMR when it's upgraded is pretty good. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to use it, but she does have fire imbue for all allies as well. I didn't really want to mention that because, you know, it's fire imbue. A lot of people have that. Also, 150% little burst damage buff. She has 11 hits on that, so at least that's okay chaining, I guess, for herself if you bring a dupe. And her brave shift little burst, she does have an 80 times to 40 times each, 160 times stack total 1 hit finisher with 20 times mod to some of her abilities for 5 turns. And a very good thing actually, 35% gun imperil, which I know apparently there's not a lot of people who use guns, but Fistless would like to use guns. So when Fistless gets her weapon upgrade, the 4 wins Fistless gets a weapon upgrade, and it's pretty good for her. So Fistless will be strong for a short time in the future. So gun imperil is quite good. Now there's some huge negatives, and I just remembered that I forgot that in this review slide, I forgot that her gun upgrade actually gives her modifier increases. I don't know what to the extent of what they are as of this video, but I remember the video, like the description saying that she does get modifier increases. So yes, her modifiers are bad without that gun upgrade. They're like 10 times with 50% defense or 50% spirit ignore. 10 times mod on a Neo Vision unit, I mean, come on. So I told you guys there was a catch. There's a catch to having 200% magic true to wield and 6 times cap and 200% killers for all types. So she's really a finisher and maybe a little burst chainer for little burst does enough damage, but it's 80 times. It's not that high. No. Yeah, her chaining mods are just really bad outside of Clash of Wills. And inside of Clash of Wills, she has decent modifiers, but outside it's like really bad. And her voice acting in the game is really bad, so that's already a deterrent for you guys to try and pull for her, of course, because voice acting is subjective a lot of the time, but you can't even argue with it. You just let me take a field trip here. Let's take a field trip. You don't need to see the whole thing. Just listen to this. Just listen to it. Ugh. 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 Oh, you can't tell me that's bad. Oh my god. They literally went out in the street and said, hey, you want a job? You want $50? Come in and just say 3 words. Okay. Here's your line. Go. Oh my god. I am literally in pain hearing that. Oh my god. Okay, back to the review. So her modifiers are pretty bad. She's a decent finisher in her brave shift form. Basically you would always want to use her gun because she does have low burst damage buff. And basically I think that they're treating Clash of Wills like Brave Frontier, to where like they had Guild Wars and they had certain units for Guild Wars and they were very good in Guild Wars, but not so great outside of Guild Wars. So they're just bringing that mechanic over here. They're basically treating this like their own separate entity, where you don't really want to use the units outside of that, but you're pulling for this event. Outside of her modifiers, she's pretty good. I really like the part where she has 200% true to wield, 6 times cap. That's like my favorite thing. Like, if you have 200% true to wield already, you don't have to worry about anything. And she already has 200% killers, so on certain espers she'll have 300% killers already, or at least 275. Remember, guys, on a unit like this, you know she's doing magic damage. She like to equip physical killers because she's the ace type of unit. You know, ace or brave shift last well, so you like to equip physical killers onto that. So they're actually at an advantage when you equip killers on average with physical units. You know, she's doing magic damage. So in case you guys are wondering, but you still want to equip magic stuff onto her. I know it's very confusing as a new player. Believe me, I get the questions about this all the time. It's very confusing. I understand. It's very confusing, but it's there. So equip physical killers. She's not a hybrid really. Just she wants to equip magic stuff, but she wants physical killers. Understand that. So I'm gonna give her an 8.5. I think that she's very strong outside of Clash of Wills, of course, but for a free-to-play player, probably wouldn't want to quit. Oh, the gun music stopped. Sorry about that. Anyways, you probably wouldn't want to use her outside of Clash of Wills besides her Brave Shift to Lone Burst for like Dark Visions or something. So 8.5, I think that she is quite good. She has a lot of things that I like. I am hopeful that gun gives her a lot higher modifier increases. Maybe that's the unlock. Maybe she gets unlocked more when you get those that weapon upgrade, because it does say she gets modifier increases. Hopefully they're significant, because she needs them. And finally, Ling. I've been waiting for Ling. Neo Vision. I'm really glad that she has a Neo Vision and not a 5-star form. Very, very nice. So I personally think that they did really good with her. They made her an inspiration of the previous version of herself, where she does a lot of different things. So infinite turns, of course. Celestial combination step. I wanted to mention this because this is very interesting. She provides chaining and triple cast for that ability for all allies. So she has Stardust Ray and she has Chaos Wave Awakened. It's incredible. That's incredible. There have been some units that can do something similar to this, but triple cast given to everybody and also a decently strong move. It's incredible. It's actually incredible. So I wanted to mention that at the start. Anyways, 25% dagger and peril. Rip Hawkeye, by the way, probably, if this is here. I'm kidding. 85% breaks on a cooldown. 80% breaks on demand. These are all full breaks, by the way. 50%, this is one of the good ones. 50% general and physical and magical mitigation for 2 uses. It has some other things, but those are the main things. I think that's pretty insane. You really don't need much more than 50% mitigations, and you have all 3 in one ability. Like, that's like your go-to. Like, oh my god, I'm in danger. I don't have any mitigation. Bam. There you go. 200% true to will, 600% cap on both sides. Triple cast and start trying to turn 1. Now she needs to earn triple cast, and I understand why they did this, because she does have a morale gauge abilities, and just imagine you being able to triple cast that willy-nilly in Clash of Wills. I guess that would be kind of, I don't know how good this morale gauge thing is going to be good yet, but I assume the reason why she doesn't have triple cast permanently is because triple casting the morale gauge ability is probably broken. I don't know if it is or not, but I assume it's broken. Anyways, 4 stacks of evasion on a cooldown. She has 2 stacks on demand. In her Brave Shift form, she has Undead, Machine, Human, and Beast Killers. All separate abilities, of course. But they're 150% for all allies. Quite good. I don't know why I didn't mention how much they were, but oh well. Fire and Light imbues for all allies, and also in her Brave Shift Lone Burst. She has 30% attack and magic. She has 200% Lone Burst damage, and also 5 evasion stacks. That's really high for all allies. Nice. Filling the morale gauge is useless outside of Clash of Wills, unfortunately. I really don't like that. All it does is just refill morale gauge. It doesn't do anything else, so that's unfortunate. She has no chaining by default, so she has to unlock those. So you know she has 200% true to wield and 6 times cap. She needs to unlock chaining to do things. And passives and abilities unlocked Clash of Wills will be useless outside of it. She does have some abilities like attack and magic buffs and things like that, and killers, I think, that are unlocked during Clash of Wills, but only if her morale, if the morale gauge is higher or lower. So those really won't be too useful outside of Clash of Wills because there is no morale gauge outside of this. That to as of this video, of course, they could do that, but I doubt that they would do that. I think they did a very good job with Ling. I'm really surprised they didn't butcher her or make her bad. She's gonna be way more memorable than Louise when it comes in a few weeks from now. The problem with this is we already know that a certain lady is coming to the game called Aerith, and she has 400% stat buff, unfortunately. So I don't really want to compare her too much to Aerith, but only for the stat buff. Obviously, for the stat buff, she is outmatched by Aerith. But there's a problem with Aerith that she basically is tied to Light Imbue if you use her limit burst. So at the same time, Ling is not tied to any imbues when you use her stat buffs. So that you could think of it that way. Because I don't want this to be one-sided. And also, Ling has so much more capabilities than Aerith in terms of just being a general support, mitigation, and killers, and stacks of evasion, which are really useful. And breaks. You know, they're not the highest breaks. I mean, they're pretty good breaks. Like, I need a breaker, but I don't need a really strong breaker. Ling is there for you. So, I'm going to be giving Ling 9 out of 10. It hurts me not to give her a 9.5 because the Clash of Wills thing kind of hurts her a little bit. Some of her abilities are tied to that, so hurts her score a little bit. Let me know in the comment section now if I should lower the score because of Clash of Wills stuff, or should I just ignore it, or not have it in my factor. I'm not really sure yet. I'm really not sure if this Clash of Wills thing will stick. That's what I'm kind of worried about. Anyways, this video is way too long. 16 minutes. Sorry guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you like my videos. And subscribe if you like my videos. I do reviews like this all the time. And I'll also be pulling for Ling later today. So make sure you guys tune into my live stream. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!